Seems like the screen changes every time I do this. Anyway, welcome and hello, and I hope everyone's doing well. Can you believe we're in the middle of March and St. Patrick's Day is past and it's almost spring? And I say this all the time. I know I say it all the time, but I still can't believe how quickly the time's going. But that's just the way life is, I guess. Okay, today I've got a quote from Goethe that's a slight takeoff of something that what people talk about all the time. A lot of times people say something to the effect of, where do you stand on an issue? And I found this quote from Goethe. It's Goethe, and as best as I can figure out that I can say it, is something like Goethe, which I can't say really well because I'm not German and don't speak it, but you probably have seen the word before. You just may not have recognized it by the way I pronounce it. But so that's my little language tip for the day. Not that it means anything, but just thought I'd toss that in. Anyway, a sort of a freebie kind of thing. Anyway, what we hear about a lot is a question about, where does somebody stand? Where do you stand on an issue? And that can be important, but Goethe was also taking this a little bit further. His quote, "The important thing is not where we stand, but in what direction we are moving." So he would go so far as to say, just stand, at least the way I interpret it anyway, let me put it that way, is not so much where we're standing on an issue, but if we're doing something about it and we're making moves in that particular direction. Because anybody can say that this is where I stand, but are you doing anything about it? So this to some degree reminds me of New Year's resolutions, among other things. So that if you said something like, I want to lose weight, or I want to do well in school, or I want to be a better parent, or I want to be in a better relationship, or some such thing, whatever that may be, the question is what are you doing about it? What direction are you moving? Are you doing anything that's going to take you in that particular direction that goes where you want to go? Which, if you think about it, I think that this means more than just saying, where do you stand? Because you could stand on any issue, on any place, but if you're not doing anything about it, what does it mean? So if you say, again, you want to lose weight, you want to get healthier, you want to do whatever it is, or you don't want to do whatever it is, what are you doing about that issue to get you to where you want to go? In other words, what direction are you moving? So if you're saying that you want to lose weight and you want to eat a healthier diet, but you're sitting on the couch, binging some television show and you're eating snacks and sugary sodas, okay, we know where you stand, but you're not necessarily moving in the right direction to accomplish what you want. So there's a disconnect between the two comments. And so I thought it would be interesting to mention that today so that you can start thinking in terms of this week when you say you want to, whatever that is. Maybe you can start thinking in terms of, okay, this is what I say I want, but am I doing anything to accomplish that? So if you're in school and you want better grades, what are you doing about it? Are you complaining and just saying, I don't have time? That's not the issue. The question is what are you doing? If you're saying, I don't have time, then you're not doing anything to accomplish that particular goal. The issue is not saying you don't have time. The issue is figuring out what you do to get the time to go ahead and do whatever that activity is. Because again, as I've said before, you're in control of your time. You make the decisions about what you want to do. You can binge watch Netflix, as the saying seems to be these days, or you can do a homework assignment. If you're trying to lose weight, you can go out and get some exercise, or you can sit there on the couch and binge watch Netflix. So it's getting you into the thought of, okay, what am I doing and where am I going? So the journey in this case is more important, I think, or at least as important as where you say you want to go, because you're never going to get there if you don't move. To sort of paraphrase Confucius' comment about a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, you've got to take that step to get to wherever you're going, because if you don't take that first step, it's never going to happen. So when you look back and, next year or 5 years or whatever and say, well, I should have done this, what actions did you take to get to where you're going? Now, remember the habit tracker I gave you at the beginning of the year? Are you using it? Are you taking a look at that thing? Or did you download it, or maybe not even download it at all? And so that if you're not doing those simple little things to even try to begin tracking what you're doing, and you say you want to do this, but you don't use the tools like the habit tracker that could help you get there, is that what you really want to do? Really? Or is it just something that you're saying because you want to have something to say for other people so that you can just sort of like get them off your back because you say, well, I want to do this, but I can't because I don't have the time, which is basically an excuse. Yeah, I know you're going to argue with me, but it's still an excuse. If you think about it, everybody's got 24 hours a day. Some people get things done. Why don't you? Okay. So this was fairly short today. Surprise, surprise. It's a little gift, I guess I could say. Um, I hope this is helpful to you, or at least starts you thinking about whatever it is that you need to think about, or you're just going to blow me off and just continue to binge watch next Netflix and not do anything about it. But hopefully it gets you thinking about what you actually need to do or want to do to get you where you want to go. It would help if I could talk, wouldn't it? Anyway, so the idea is to figure out where you want to go and create the path and decide how you're going to get there. If this was helpful, please share it with somebody else. Let them know that I don't talk straight all the time. Yeah. Oh, well. Again, if you're listening to me just to hear where I mess up, then you're not really paying attention to my words. And so I guess, that's your jollies, I guess. So let me know what's going on and what you liked, what you didn't like, what your thoughts are. If there's something else you'd like to hear from me, I'd really appreciate your letting me know. And if you've got the habit tracker, dig it out and see if you can start doing something to get you where you want to go. So with that in mind, I'm going to say goodbye for the now, and we'll see you next week.